Wow, what a game. The Edmonton Oilers put it away in overtime. They end up taking a 2-0 lead going down to Vegas. They beat the house. They beat the casino. The Oilers are going back home to Rogers. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be unbelievable in that building. Those crowd, the Edmontonians, they're going to be going wild. The fact they were able to go down into Vegas and take a 2-0 series lead is just phenomenal for a team like this. This team is so fast. They're so good. At times they are so vulnerable to defensive woes or goaltending issues, but they really punched their way out of this one physically and metaphorically. And it was really the depth. I mean, I know McDavid and Draisaitl are who put it away in overtime. I know there was a play by Victor Arvidsson that could have been called a penalty. It's never going to be called a penalty in overtime and in the playoffs. For those of you that haven't watched 20, 30 years of overtime hockey, welcome. No penalty ever. It's very hard to get a call. And I get it. Edmonton started with a 4-minute on that overtime. So, geez Louise, there's a lot to break down in this game. But, you know, at the end of the day, the Knights battled back. They played strong. They did everything they could, but it's the speed and the depth of the Oilers at this point. And you know I grit my teeth when I say the depth, but Jake Wallman, big goal coming over at the trade deadline. The Arvidsson Podkolzin line, unbelievable. 8 minutes of hockey. That's it. 8 minutes of hockey in regulation, and they're able to chip in on 2 goals. That's huge. Absolutely huge. Top to bottom, the Oilers may have started off a little bit slow in this game, and I felt they did. I felt they played down to Vegas's level, and I don't say that rudely, Vegas. Vegas slows the game down. They bring everything to a crawl. That's the purpose of the Vegas Golden Knights. Edmonton wasn't having it come the second period. They absolutely explode for goals early in the second, all the way through the second and into the third. But then the answer back from Vegas is strong. Aiden Hill had an up and down game. Neither goaltender, I would say, was excellent in this game. And I know there's a whole bunch of people ready to go down below and fire it up and get going. The Edmonton penalty kill, not ideal. If Vegas is able to get on that power play 50% tonight, they were deadly on the power play. Stone, Eichel, and Olofsson, big time down low. Vegas fans are going to wonder what would have happened if that call would have been made in overtime. And Edmontonians, you're not going to like it. I get it. Rough, tough, blue collar city, like Winnipeggers. I get it. No call, tough, shrug your shoulders. Welcome to the playoffs, sunshine. But I still think that was a call. Oh well, that's the way the playoffs goes, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. We could spend an entire lifetime pointing out calls that should be calls. It's not a reffing channel. It's a hockey channel. So with that said, let's get to it and break down some goals. Can you go down there though and like, subscribe? Join the Discord if you want to chat with me, but like, subscribe. It's super free. It goes a long way. It helps us out big time. So do all your comments. Good, bad, and different. If you can't think of anything, throw an emoji. Let's get after it right now. First goal takes a while to get going. It's Jack Eichel up to the top here. He looks for this little switch with Theodore, and he fakes it. And that gives them a little bit of room here. It's high skill play like that allows a player to open up room. It's going to open up room down this side for him, and it catches the player on the wrong side of his body. As he continues over, he's taking a look. He realizes he wants to go down low, but he knows he's being baited. You've got 2 unique players here. You've got a lefty with your stick around, and you've got a righty with your stick here. As a righty, he's going to be able to get his stick into this lane a little more effectively. So whether Eichel's actually calculating this or not is irrelevant. He knows it in his subconscious. He pivots away, protects the body, throws it up to Theodore at the top. And this power play in the 1-3-1 always starts with Theodore. It goes back to Eichel, and that quick little movement gets him exactly what they want. It's the free up of Mark Stone down near the net. They move it over to Stone, and they move the puck so quickly that this lane is only open for half a second, all the way over to Olofsson. Half a second's all they need, and it's in the back of the net. And nothing there is surprising. I mean, Edmonton, I think, has been scored on first a couple times in this series, but the comeback kids always find their way back. Goal number 2 is the depth, but Goldson carries it in. He's going to go long. He's going to go wide. Late night. He's going to move it over to the right-hand side. That's going to force the Knights to have to switch. Switching in the D zone is always hard. So you got to switch. You've got to switch and be the support man. You've got to be the hit man. And then you've got to come into here to be the guy down in the middle. But what he's going to do is cause confusion by carrying it down low. And then they're going to switch again. Double switches are even hard than single. You move it up to the top for Wallman, who absolutely hammers one, beating Hill. And the Janmark, Arvidsson, Podolsin line did a lot more than it needed to do tonight. They only had 8 minutes in the first 3 periods. So not counting overtime, they had about 8 minutes of ice time. But they were so effective with those 8 minutes. The only thing you're hoping from your fourth line is to not get scored on. Anytime you get goals like this from them, it's a massive bonus. But they weren't done yet. We talked in our last video about the Oilers playing fast. Well, there you go. Puck support and chip. This is why I'm always talking about puck support. The whole game is based on 2-on-1s. Step up, chip it out. This is your support guy here in Podolsin. That puck moves up and he's gone. He's going to do his best Connor McDavid impersonation. Buys ice down the middle. Hard cut to the left. That does nothing but create gap. Fires it in. Beats Hill. That's not good enough by Pietrangelo and his D partner here from the Knights. But this is what happens when you practice with Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. You build a team around speed. Everybody gets faster. You don't just draft fast players, you practice fast. When you practice fast, you're able to do things like this. This is why we see guys like Connor Brown and Podolsin and Podolsin. Anyways, that's why you see those guys as fast as they are up and down the middle. Goal number 3, and they're really pouring it on now with speed. Comes back. Beautiful stick check there by Nurse. It's just enough to set up Draisaitl here for the takeaway. As Draisaitl comes in, he catches the Knights sleeping. And from there, he's right up the gut. Now, here's an example of decent gap. Most of the time, he'd have the ability to blow around this here. He should have carried it left. He wants to cut in right. He doesn't. Good little stick on puck. They end up moving it over the wall, but Draisaitl, like a dog on a bone, hunts it right around the corner. That causes the turnover over here to Nuge and Hopkins, and the Nuge is going to wait for the man to activate. Darnell Nurse comes in, pretending like he's a forward. D1 moves in as forward 4, and he takes a shot from the top of the circle, and he beats Hill. And that's now 2 shots from the middle of the circle that have beaten Hill. A goalie has to be better than this. I'm not saying Edmonton didn't score fantastic goals, but you do expect more from a goaltender there. There's no screens on these shots. I get their turnovers, but you got to be able to take away some of these if you want to win a series. So those 2 are tough ones. I mean, the first one, there's not much you're going to be able to do about that. The Jake Wallman goal was just an absolutely beautiful amount of work by the fourth line, changing everything you would see in the D zone. But those last 2, I think he has an opportunity to have them, but sometimes players are just better than goalies at times, and that's what happened on those 2. Pietrangelo, hard rim, all the way around the boards, and it initiates a board battle. I mean, this is just fantastic work here by the Knights to get themselves back in the game. I think you'd be thinking this game's getting out of hand at this point, but the Knights battle back absolutely incredibly. Really nice board play here by Jack Eichel. Big, strong, unbelievable skater. Moves it into the middle, snaps a filthy little shot there, and it's a really nice tip in by Carlson. And sometimes it's just the little things that you want to do to get yourself back into the game. There's only 2 minutes left in the second period. You win a board battle. Pietrangelo makes a really nice play all the way up and down the ice. You just get in front of the net and you get a nice tip in. But the Oilers would battle back with their own wall battles of themselves. I mean, really, this was a game of what was going on in the neutral zone. And the Evander Kane line would go ahead and win the battle here. Look, they're on the right side of the puck. I love what I'm seeing from the Oilers here. You got 2 Oilers on the right side of the puck. Hyman wins the battle. Big body. He's going to reach in here, and he just muscles that puck away. They pick it up. Kane moves it over. The Nuge, little bit of a dance back to Hyman. Hyman puts it back over to Kane. This is absolutely unbelievable tic-tac-toe. Takes 1, 2, 3 bounces, and it's in the back of the net. And yeah, I was lucky kind of the way it ricocheted a little bit to get in the back of the net, but there was nothing lucky about the hard work along the wall, nothing lucky about how hard Zach Hyman is working, and beautiful passes by Nugent Hopkins. But special teams matter, and Olofsson's going to get his second of the night. We said in our preview that it is absolutely critical for them to stay out of the box. Eichel's going to go ahead and move this one over to Olofsson after holding it. I mean, this is just a pure skill play. You shouldn't be able to get this through. He's still holding. He's just waiting. And then finally, all he is trying to do on this one is bait them to get their stick out there. They go stick on puck. As soon as he sees them put stick on puck, he knows he's opened up a lane. He can see that lane. He feeds it through. Bang. It's in the back of the net. No chance for Pickard. And then finally, with 8 minutes left, it's Alex Pietrangelo. Moves it over. And like I said, when you move things left to right, this causes a zone shift for the defenseman. You move it this way, you're going to create some gap. Draisaitl bites. It's too far of a gap from Pietrangelo. And it's a simple shot on net with 8 minutes left that ends up beating Pickard. And that would end up taking us to overtime. Edmonton would have an absolutely relentless attack after this. This was such an interesting game and a big battle back by the Knights to not just go down. When this game was 4-2, it really felt like Edmonton was going to run away from this one. But you can't have the roster that Edmonton has without some holes. And one of those holes is and probably forever will be in the nets. Overtime goal incoming, wide rim. We get to see another reason why Corey Perry is an absolute MVP in the playoffs, regardless of who he's playing for. He is crushing it for Edmonton, picks that puck up off the wall, and he's using amazing puck protect. His back's to the wall. He creates the gap. The gap is too much, and that allows Connor McDavid to skate right into his pass. We all know how fast McDavid is. You can see the chops, the crisscrossing. I mean, he just absolutely smokes them, torches them. Watch the Knights defender, bang, bang. There is no way he's going to be able to stay up from that one. Pietrangelo is alone on a 2-on-1. He's had a good game tonight, but there's nothing you can do when the two best players in the world left in the playoffs come at you. McDavid moves it over to Draisaitl, the goal scorer, and he puts it in. Like, what a spot. What an absolutely filthy goal. He finds this spot here right off the post and puts it in. So Hill not only has no chance on a wide open net, he makes sure he hits the shooter's spot to put it in. And that would be all she wrote. And that is huge for Edmonton. If you can go take away that home ice advantage in Vegas and you bring them back to Rogers Place in Edmonton, good luck. It's going to be tough uphill sledding right now for the Vegas Golden Knights. And I'm very neutral in this series. It sounds like I'm hyper bullish on the Oilers. I am. Sorry, Knights fans. At this point in time, the team doesn't look like it is playing up to what we have expected of the Knights of the last 7 years. That or the Oilers have taken a massive step up. I actually think it is both because I am seeing the depth of the Oilers really shine through here right now. That wasn't just the Connor McDavid, Bouchard, Draisaitl show. They won all up and down the lineup, and that's what you have to do on the road. So really good job by Edmonton. I expect them to take 1, possibly 2 at home, but that's just a hot take. Things that aren't hot takes, when we break down goals, when we do coaching breakdowns, everything in the middle of the video, nothing hot take about it. Beginning of the video, end of the video, you always get a prediction, a thought, a comment. Doesn't mean they're going to be correct, but you'll always let me know down below in the comments. Oiler Nation, Vegas, we will see you for Game 3.